Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you for joining me in Pootles Advent Countdown. 25 projects coming out to you, 5 a week for 5 weeks. We're right at the end of week 2 now, and I'm excited to share this project with you. Now, if you have followed me for a while, you'll know that I originally came up with this design in 2013, and then I remade it again a few years later, and I haven't made it since then. However, when I was looking through my autumn-winter catalogue, and actually I was pulling out photographs for my team, I saw this one and I went, oh, that looks like mine. And I've had it confirmed, yes, it is my design and my project. And so I am blown away, over the moon, the fact that the Stampin Up design team have cased me for the catalogue. That has just made my day, year, month, career of being a demonstrator. So this is the autumn winter catalogue over on page 50. That's my box. So we demonstrators are given a supply list of how to make, of what is used in how to make in a project, in a sample that you see in the catalogue, but there aren't any how-tos. This one there are in terms of scoring and instruction, but there's no video, and I thought, I will do it, I will remake it. So if you've seen this one in the catalogue, I thought, I wonder how you make that. I'm going to show you how. Super duper easy. So I'm just going to show you on my phone my original project. So this was August the 5th, 2013. So I was April, May, June, July. I was a 4 and a bit month old demonstrator. And so that's my original project there. And it was a treasure box. And looks like that, obviously that. So, and this is how it opens. And then I remade it a couple of years later for what I call called Way Back Wednesday. So this was 2016, and I remade it with this paper. And again, it looks like that. So, and I'm pulling this one up, so I'm going to read off my own instructions, all of the measurements for you. Because on the first one, I was just working in whichever I fancied. It took me a while. I do work in both metric and imperial, but when I was an early demonstrator, I would only write down one or the other. It was just what I fancied using that day. And then I learned very quickly when people would say, your imperial project, can you put it into metric, or vice versa? And so I'm going to give you all sets of measurements, but as ever, on my blog. Right, piece of cardstock, 10.5 by 8 inches, 26.5 by 20 centimetres. On the first side, score it every 2 inches at 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10, which in metric is 5, 10, 15, 20 and 25 centimetres. And then on the short side, score it at 2 inches and 6 inches, which is 5 and 15 centimetres. Okay, super easy. Right, let's get these score lines burnished up. I promise you this is really easy. You all know me. They look complicated, they're not complicated. So this is Seaside Spray because I'm using the Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper. So this one is Purple Posy cardstock, very pretty. And so I thought I'd use Seaside Spray. And the final one. Okay, so when you look at your box this way round, you will see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels, because obviously it's pentagonal, and then a little panel. This small section up here, we're going to take away this bit and that one. I'll tip that out of the light. Do you know what, if I tip it that way you can see I can throw shadow. That one and that one, that one and that one. So that's the first thing I'm going to do with hopefully reasonably clean scissors. So get that one gone and the opposite one. So they're the pieces gone. Now all you do is cut up there, there and there. Very easy, straight up those score lines on both sides. And I'm just going to cut that score line away because I was trying to aim straight down the middle and went to one side of it. So they're all going to fold in, and I'm going to come to that shortly because I want to get my DSP in place first. So I took a piece of designer series paper that I've now managed to put in the wrong order. There we go. Not that way round. And I took my piece of designer series paper and I cut it across the width first. Now it needs to be 3 3/4 of an inch. I've always got to look at my face. There we go. 3 3/4 of an inch wide by 1 3/4 tall, which is 9.5 centimetres. So I cut my 9.5 centimetre piece first, and then I cut off at thirds. And I need 4 of them. So I looked for one that was sort of, you know, reasonably plain, which happened to come off the side. And what I want to do is get my patterns on my box so that they follow a flow. So as you can see, this is my pattern. This one I want to have here, and that one I want to have above it. Okay, so that the pattern flows. It's not essential, it just, you know, makes me happy to do that. So I'm going to put, oh, I just finished off my snail. So that's going to come on this one, which hasn't got a lip. Oh, I've just finished that one off as well. Let's get a new snail out. There we go. Oops, oh, I've got dropsy. And so I want this one to carry on the pattern up. And that's going to carry on the pattern further. So you can see it's beginning to come together. This one has a you know, nothing, it's the bottom of the box. So that's the one I want to get this final panel on. And like I say, I went for reasonably plain. Okay. Right, now comes the fun bit, and I genuinely mean it's the fun bit. We've got all these panels here, and I want to get them all to line up. And how do I get to do that? Well, we're going to put them inside out, like that. So I want these two to come up, and that one, and then this one is going to come round, and it's going to match nicely. Where you want it to match, this one on the far side is going to meet this corner here. Okay, that corner to that corner. And then when you use liquid glue, which I'm going to use, you've got wibblage room to get it to line up nicely. So, let me get my liquid glue. Don't put too much on at this stage, and trust me, don't do both sides. I did both sides and I got in a little bit of a mess. So fold those two over. Don't worry about getting them lined up just yet. The most important one to line up is this corner to corner, corner to corner. And because it's liquid glue, you've got room to move it about and get it, whoops, all lined up and held in place before the glue dries. Okay, all lined up. I've got a straight line there and I've got this lovely pentagonal shape there. So I'm just going to let that dry for a tiny little bit and do the same here. So I'm just, as you can see, just really putting glue in the middle. And again, just make sure that lines up, this corner to this corner. And by the fact that we've already done one side, it's pretty much sorted and held itself in place anyway. So, there we go. And that should be dry. If you get any little bits that gape, and I'm not going to put the glue dots in just yet, but there's a little gap there, that might gape, and one there, and I'm going to put some mini glue dots on, but I'll come to that when it's fully dry, because I want to cut some lovely snowflakes now. So I've got the frosted frames die, so again from the same suite, Feels Like Frost, and you've got the frames, but there's also snowflakes, which are really cool. So, big shot. and I've got the matching, well, the same Seaside spray. So I've got magnetic platform, clear plate, die. There's my shim. And I kind of half thought, shall I go with Blueberry Bushel? And then I decided, no, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to come in with white. Because I don't die cut white very often. So I thought I would. Although I am still tempted to go with Blueberry Bushel, but I'm not going to. Oh! I'll pull those out in a second. And although that's one die, it's actually die cutting 2 snowflakes at a time. Winner there. Right, let's get these bits out. I think that's probably dry now. On my first one, I used the In Colour ribbon, but I don't think I'm going to. I've got the same Seaside spray, but actually I think I'm going to use this one, which is, again, actually it's from the same suite. Mixing up my suite, I'm using it all. So, just tie that round. I'm just going to tie a pretty knot on it. My little snowflakes, they're so cute, and I'm going to cluster them all on one side this time around, I think. So, mini glue dots in the centre. A couple more. And as I said, absolutely made my year, week, month, career as a demonstrator to find that I have been cased into the catalogue, and yeah, humbled as well. Really did make my day when I spotted it. So, as I said before, little mini glue dot under, because the liquid glue was only in the centre. The reason you don't put it all the way to the edge is because you've got to, you know, leave wibblage room. Wibblage is such a technical word, and you all know exactly what I mean when I say that. But those little glue dots are just going to hold it down in place. And final one. There we go. What a pretty project. And very different from the pilot one in the catalogue, but also from my original and the one that followed. But I think lovely. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. Hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.